day 27, and I do have the flu on carnivore. So having this on a diet is interesting because on the one hand I feel so sick that I cannot eat, so that's a plus, I think. But on the other hand, it's just, going up and down with pain and not pain. One thing I do have also is extremely stomach pains from um, yesterday. I did have a lot of whipped cream. So it seems like to a lot of the dairy part, I'm allergic. And that might be a good thing because carnivore should stick to the red meat, salt, and water part. So that's what I wanted to go. But yesterday I was overdoing it. So what happens with me on dairy is that I'm more hungry and I want to eat more, and then I do feel pain, and I still go through with this because I wanted to have this sweet feeling that I'm eating something sweet when I have mascarpone or yogurt with the banana, even with the fruit part sometimes and stuff like this. So that's not a good thing, and that's what I really focusing this month on getting rid of. It's the occasional fruit parts and the dairy, because it's not working for me. I need to go full carnivore because I did it some days, and I did have this fasting and eating one time a lot of meat, and that's when I felt the best. That's when I saw the benefits of the carnivore without all the other crap. And that's the problem, because that's what most of us, all people, do wrong, is to do the a little bit more laissez-faire style, and then they're wondering why they don't lose weight and why they feel sick and so on. And I can tell you now from almost a month experience, I felt the best when I did the right carnivore thing, like fasting and eating just meat. I wasn't focused on that. It's just happened because I was, having a lot of things at work. So that's why I just eat one time a day, and I did eat a lot of meat. So that wasn't intentional. And when I'm at home, it's very difficult for me to do so. Because I do have time, I do feel bored often. I do, watch movies. So it's very, very hard not to just are constantly want to binge eat, even because it's just a habit. It doesn't have anything to do with being hungry, and that's the tough part I have to get rid of, and that's what I'm fighting every day. I can recommend to watch, because when you feel bad, watch the 5 stages of carnivore from Homestead How, or some I don't know his correct name. um and that was a video yesterday that was motivating me, because he was doing the lion diet for 60 days. That's why he lost that much weight. That's why he was that obsessed in the end, because that was the thing that was changing his mind and so on. And all the stages you go through, even if you then have your weight and you did go through 3 4 months, whatever. And it's very interesting to listen to this. So if you're struggling right now, or even if you're starting, watch this video, 5 stages of carnivore. For me, the dairy part is very problematic. So next week, my mom and my son, starting on Saturday, are going on a trip. So I am gonna try to have only red meat in my fridge, to don't have any kind of dairy. So I will just, figure it out to just have these things in my fridge. Maybe even to ask them to take the car, so I wouldn't be able even to get fast somewhere, because I do live very in the nature. It's very, nothing is very nearby. So that would be actually the best thing to just focus and do, maybe for 5 days, and to see if I can manage to get there. Because one thing I can tell you, the dairy part, horrible, horrible. Not all of them are having reactions, but they do stop my fat loss. Something about the dairy part and my body are just not agreeing. The other thing is my occasional fruit, very bad, because there are the pikes in the insulin. Some people don't have that. I saw it Lily profile. I think she did it. She does have this, little diabetes thing where you can see if your blood sugar is jumping or not, and she's eating banana and it doesn't jump. So I think it depends, in yogurt, but it depends on people if they have some reactions or not. I do have. I can see them, I can feel them. Especially my body structures just changes, and it's just being smushy and disgusting. And if I just eat the meat, salt, and water part, my body is really lean, and I even see, muscles, which I don't train. So that's one thing. And also, what I discovered yesterday is I was craving an apple. So when I ate the apple, I was feeling very bad. Then I researched why my body is craving apples, and it's maybe because of omega 3, that you're missing omega 3, and that's why you're craving an apple, which was a little bit strange why. But it does make sense for me because I need more omega 3 because of my multiple sclerosis, and I was very low when I started carnivore. So I'm pretty sure that I'm getting even lower because I stopped eating my usual tuna rice, what I like to eat, and my salmon with rice, sushi, and these things. So I do even eat less omega 3, and I didn't have any supplements in that case. So I'm pretty sure that's what my body is missing right now. It's the omega 3. So I am gonna try to increase a little bit more fish these days. So if you're craving something, that's very interesting. It doesn't have to be right, because of, we know science are, very different opinions. And if you search for these kind of things, you will find so many different arguments. And but if you are craving chocolate or nuts or cheese, look it up what you might missing and think about it. Do you have enough of these things? If it's omega 3, it's magnesium, is it, salt and stuff like this. So a lot of people who, for example, crave potato chips do crave salt, so maybe your electrolytes are not in balance. So take a little bit look in on this. That's very interesting, honestly, and it does make sense for me. It might not make sense for you, but it did because my omega 3. um One thing I did yesterday as well was I did make burger patties in ghee, in a pan, and they were delicious like always. I did the same burger patties in my air fryer, and they were disgusting. It was the same meat, same things, and they were disgusting. I don't know why. I love my air fryer. So I can tell you also, sometimes it seems it's not the meat, it's the way you're cooking it or preparing it. And something about the meat ghee combination works for me, and I like it more. I don't like the ones in the air fryer. And I did have some baby cow meat. We did wanna test it. I'm happy that I didn't like it because then we went to the zoo, and there were everywhere baby cows and baby goats, and oh, I was like getting crazy. It was so, they were so cute, and I was like, no, I'm eating you guys. And that was a little bit devastating, and I know that's how life works, but still, looking at them and seeing the baby, I don't care about the big ones, but the younger ones and the babies, that's a little bit, that was strange. um but my son loved it. My son said it's the best meat. So it's very difficult because we have completely different tastes. And one thing I can tell you, also watching a lot of the older videos from all the doctors and our influencers on Carnivore that are having 100,000 and upwards followers, I did change their things to watch the oldest videos and see where they started, and if they documented their journey like maybe I do, or every week, or even some regularly. And they don't. They do have, just they did the work, and now that's the result. And that's what I think is very problematic, because if I have to tell somebody what I did or how I felt the first week, I will just maybe remember the good things when I'm in a good path, or just the bad things if I'm in a bad situation like right now. And that's the problem, because these things are having up and downs, and I don't think that these people do share a lot of their downs. And that carnivore is not something that easy going. It's not just, just eat meat, just eat, until you're full. Don't take care of this, don't worry about this. It's bullshit. Honestly, it's so bullshit, because you do care. It does happen. A lot of things are happening during your journey. If you're an average person and are not a disciplined person, you're not a person that starting very thin. You start maybe with being overweight and binge eating a lot and doing these things. It's more difficult to get your mindset there, and that's the issue, not the food itself. Because I can tell you, when I just eat meat, salt, and water, and did fast at some days, you can even see it in my whole journey, I felt my best. So I do think that the lion diet, just eating these things, is the right thing to do for your body, because then you will have the benefits of carnivore. But to get there, it's hard. I tried yesterday. I wanted just to eat red meat, and I had an amazing breakfast, and I was feeling full, and I did a big plate of everything. I did eat it good. But then I started being hungry at 14 again, and then I eat the same, different kind of meat, but still eat a lot. And I was still hungry, but I had a meat aversion at some point. I couldn't just see the meat anymore. And that's when I started eating dairy, and that's when I started having a lot of gut problems, also with the whipped cream, because I was just overdoing it. And then I was constantly hungry because of all this dairy. So it's just a up and down and up and down, because we are humans. We are not super robots that just can do like this, and just, yeah. Who was that? This house guy from this, who has the cinema, was like, yeah, he did 60 days lion diet, and now he's the guru, and he wants to do this documentation, and that's great. But not everyone can just go like this and do the lion diet, because how, yeah. It's, of course, that's better for you. Of course, you will feel better. I do it because I did have these days where I know that that's the thing I have to go through. But still, my mindset and my habits are not out of my system after 30 days or 60 days. So I honestly, everybody who start your documenting it. I really wanted to see it, if you can do it very easily, and I wanted to see how you're doing it with the lion diets from day one, with family who are eating maybe then different things. And my son is craving, rice, and he has a meat aversion now. He doesn't want to eat meat anymore, so he just eat eggs all the time. But and did eat some of the meat when I said you have to eat it because you will feel sick, and I don't have anything else right now. We can buy something. We can buy your tomatoes, and we can buy your rice and all these things, and we have to figure it out what works for you, because I don't want him to be sick because he's not eating enough. And my mom, the same thing. She has in some troubles which are actually based on electrolytes, but she's missing bread. And my mom is even getting depressed when she doesn't have her bread and with marmalade. So these are the real things that people are dealing when they're starting to change anything, and all these super gurus telling you how easy it is not. It's not. And if you are a person that can go easy there, and the transformation and the change was easy, I'm lucky for you, I'm happy for you. But that's not how average people and most of the people work during that kind of transition. It takes time. It takes so much time and so much fighting and so much, even knowing that's the right thing to do and that's the right way to do. It doesn't, help to know that when you are not a very strict person. And that's what I want to be. I want to be this amazing disciplined person for my son, for myself, for others, that they know she said she's doing this, and she's not doing it only for a month, she's doing it for the rest of her life, because she's that disciplined. um that's a person who I want to be. But I'm not there. I've never been a disciplined person. I've never been a person of moderation, or that I can do something for a long period of time. um the longest thing I was doing was maybe 7-8 months, like when I didn't eat sugar, and then I just slipped, and then it was over. I started again being very horrifying and horrible. So that's not a person I want to be. I want to be this person that is motivated and can go out and do, work out and do stuff, hiking with the kids and stuff like this. But I'm not. The average of steps I got in this whole month is about 1,000 steps, because I just physically couldn't do it. I just mentally couldn't do it. So that's what I'm struggling with, but I want to get there. And I know that carnivore will help me to get there when I'm getting more focused and eat red meat, water, and salt, and focus on that, and eating less and fasting and all these things. So me being now sick, it hopefully, because I really feel very sick, I hope it will get me there to eat less today and to focus when I'm eating, maybe just on a you know, red meat, just to cook it like a soup or something and just eat the soup or something like that. And just to help me get a little bit more into the fasting part again. That's also, you see, the good parts in being sick sometimes, because it can help you maybe to get rid of some habits at some point. Um, and I really, the next week when my mom and my son are on holidays for 1 week, I want to focus on the red meat. I just want to have only these things in my fridge. I will get rid of all the dairy part. Today I will drink some acidophilus milk or something like this, because I feel I need it. But the dairy part is very tricky. It makes me more hungry. It just makes me feel very awful, but that's what I have to work on. I have to work on that. So if you're feeling bad about anything and your journey, just know that these super influencers and showing how easy it is, it's just not. But when you get there, when you're into it, and if you had also your after a while, most of the people are saying after 4 to 6 months, it's starting to have some bad impact as well. And if you then stop, then that's the wrong thing. You have to go through with it. You will get more hungry, you will lose maybe hair, you will have some issues with everything and gain weight again and stuff like this, and be, you know, into a worse place. But it will take maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month. For me, maybe it'd be also 3 months, but you have to go through this and stick to it and go through this, and then it will naturally happen that this is your life. This will help you. This, you will get there. So I think it's not only the beginning, it's also the middle part where it's going to be very tough and you have just to stick to it. And that's what I want to really to document and show, if this is true, how it's everyday based, or maybe once a week, it depends on, you know, time, but how it's going. And that's not everything is great. You know, it's not. And people don't look always their best. No, they don't, especially when they have the flu and just, you know, feel like they want to die. But I think that's what I wanted to show also. It's the importance of being honest about everything. um Yes. So I'm not sure if I told you about the air fryer. I had the same patties in the air fryer, but it's awful. It's awful. I don't know why. And the patties in the ghee is the best. So figure out how to make your favorite food as well, because the same food can taste completely different depending on if you have butter, not butter, ghee, whatever. So just experiment a little bit with that. I have to be, because yeah, it was just awful in the air fryer. I couldn't eat it. It's the same thing. It's a complete same thing. And did bought this little burger patty maker, so I'm looking forward to have it, because it is pretty cool if you can make them like looking same. Yeah. So wish me luck that today I will make it to just beef and more fasting and see if I'm getting better and fight my stomach problems from dairy.